Good morning, team owners of the USFL 16-team league. These are highlights. They are abbreviated. El Briscoe was going to do them, but Ian is doing our Week 12 previews, and he's put a lot of time into it, and he has to get that out sometime later this evening. So El was probably not expecting me to do this for him this morning, but I don't think El works all night. So I'm doing a brief highlights of week 11 for our league here. And Ian, check his out later tonight. Previews for week 12. Be close together, running these together, but that's the way it is. Here we go. Memphis Showboats 10-1, looking strong. Take down J.C. Congers, the Jacksonville Bulls. Jacksonville sits at 4-7. Tampa wins again. I think that's 2 in a row and 3 of the last 4, if I'm correct. Brian is in line for the spoiler award at this time. Unless he works himself all the way out, he is likely to win that spoiler award. Keep winning though, Brian. If you finish the season 5-8, you'll definitely be in the second tier, and you'll have a chance to finish on the top 8 board, and that would be extraordinary, considering your season to start. Never quit playing in this league. I always check everyone and make sure that everyone is playing. That is an absolute requirement for me, and I think everyone appreciates that they are lining up against someone who is really truly playing, not like these abandoned leagues that many of you have probably experienced in the past, where you're playing nobody and you end up getting beat. It's a terrible thing. Moving on to the Central Division, Oklahoma Outlaws, Ian's team, take down Houston. Goes to 8-3. Blitz win this week over the Stars. Put a hurt on the Stars. Take them out of the top spot in the Atlantic. But the Blitz get back on a winning track, and they are 8-3. Michigan loses a tough game to Darren Spencer's Pittsburgh Maulers. Kenneth Beatty, I thought he was coming back, but look, let me tell you something. I think if there's anyone that's going to be in the second tier playoffs that's going to finish on the top 8 board, it's going to be Kenneth Beatty's Michigan Panthers. That's just my prediction, my humble prediction. So in the Central Division, Oklahoma is 8-3. Blitz are 8-3 with 2 games left. Anything goes there. They may even play each other these final 2 games. Houston Gamblers are 5-6 and definitely still not out of making the top tier if they can make a run. And then Michigan has fallen to where they will definitely be a second tier team. I don't anticipate them being in the spoiler award category at all. So moving on to the Atlantic Division, Boston Breakers did pull out a win this week on New Jersey Generals. That was a key game for Jose Plaza to get back in the mix here. But he did not do that. Craig Christian's Boston Breakers win, go to 6-5, and because of the Stars' loss, there you go. Boston and the Stars are both sitting there at 6-5. Pittsburgh and New Jersey Generals are 4-7. Officially now in this division, with a 2-game difference, Pittsburgh and New Jersey Generals are not out of winning that title, although I'm sure it's a long shot. But that's interesting to watch going forward. And then the LA Express, El Briscoe's team, took a loss to Oakland, Steve Miller's team this week. Go to 7-4, lose that sole first place lead, and Arizona wins. Kevin Perillou's team over the Gold goes to 7-4. So Express and Arizona are sitting there at 7-4 going in. Looking on the outside is Oakland, Steve Miller's Oakland Invaders at 5-6, still not out of it, and then Ralph Ciro's Gold are 3-8. That's pretty much it, guys. Pay attention to the main league board, main league page, or league home. When you go to the league, whether it's an app or on your laptop, go to the main league page. It will be updated by tomorrow. I can't promise it will be today, but there you will have all of the rankings, top to bottom, first and second tier, spoiler award category. 2 weeks left, so it's good to refer to that if you have any questions about where you stand in the league. Now we have a USFL professional player that wants to play and get familiar with playing, and he would start in the 16-team league if he played. There's no room in the 20-team league for that. Most of those guys are very serious. I have seen some poor play from a couple of players in this league. Also have maybe a flexible person or two that may be willing to switch around. If you do not have your first choice, I need to know what your first choice would be. That doesn't mean I'm going to be able to change it, but if the planets align and there's one or two of you that just don't have your first choice, and that first choice is available, then we can do that. I have a rule that you must have a winning record in one of the two leagues if you play in both leagues. If you do not have a winning record, you have to give one of them up. And we have a player that fits this criteria that I will not mention. I will be discussing things with him, and I would like him to maybe focus just on the main Premier League going forward. And that means he would give up his 16-team league, so 16 league team. So with that said, there are a couple of vacancies that could come forth in this 16-team league. I already have some people interested in coming forth. I never want to lose anyone. I can always have someone sit as a co-owner. So please communicate with me, and I will request this in the window too. This is very important. I do not like people failing to communicate when they know they should be communicating with me. So please communicate if you do not have your first preference. And with that said, you can send your first, second, and third preference so I can make sure I have those notes down. Have a great week, everyone, going forward. 2 games left. Everything matters now. Have a great week.